breaking news. And trust me when I see you're not ready for this. College football fans and drama lovers alike, buckle up, because Travis Hunter has finally announced his decision. And let me tell you, the fallout is already shaking the sports world and beyond. Whispers have been circling for weeks. Rumors on social media, secret meetings caught on camera, and family members dropping cryptic posts. Everyone thought they knew where Travis was headed, but the truth, it's far messier, more emotional, and more explosive than anyone could have imagined. This isn't just about football anymore. It's about loyalty, betrayal, and the kind of personal drama that has fans divided and entire households taking sides. Sources close to Travis claim heated arguments broke out behind closed doors, while friends of the star hint at sleepless nights and phone calls ending in tears. And when he finally dropped the bombshell decision, some cheered, some cried, and others, well, they walked away completely. So what exactly did Travis decide? Why is his family allegedly split down the middle? And how are fans across the country reacting to this emotional roller coaster? Stay with us, because this is where the story takes a shocking turn. The moment Travis Hunter stepped up to make his decision, the atmosphere shifted like a storm rolling in. Cameras clicked, microphones buzzed, and a silence fell over the room so heavy that even the sound of someone breathing felt intrusive. Everyone had been waiting for weeks, arguing online, guessing in group chats, dissecting every move he made, every cryptic post, every whispered rumor. And now, here he was, ready to shatter the tension. But before Travis even opened his mouth, drama had already erupted behind the scenes. According to insiders, his family was divided in a way that could never be fully repaired. His mother, who had been his strongest supporter since day one, allegedly wanted him to choose a path that aligned with tradition and loyalty. His father, however, believed that Travis needed to break free, chase the money, and embrace the opportunities that only a bold, shocking choice could bring. Their arguments had escalated so badly that friends close to the family claimed doors were slammed, voices were raised, and even neighbors overheard the chaos. "He's not a kid anymore," his father supposedly shouted during one of the heated arguments. "This is his chance to change everything, not just for himself, but for us too. Loyalty doesn't pay bills." But his mother fired back with tears in her eyes. "Loyalty is what defines character. If he turns his back on people who believed in him first, what does that say about who he really is?" Travis, caught in the middle, was left restless and drained. He reportedly spent nights pacing his room, scrolling through messages from fans, friends, and coaches, each one pulling him in a different direction. One message, leaked from a close friend, revealed that Travis had even questioned whether he wanted to continue at all. "Sometimes I feel like no matter what I decide, I lose someone I care about." The message read, and as the pressure built, rumors began spreading faster than wildfire. Fans claimed to have spotted him at late-night meetings with influential figures. One blurry photo showed him sitting at a diner with a well-known sports agent, sparking speculation that he was chasing fame over heart. Another report suggested he had been secretly texting an old coach, weighing the comfort of familiarity against the thrill of a new beginning by the time the day of the announcement arrived. The fan base was in complete chaos. Half of them were begging him to honor loyalty and tradition, while the other half were chanting for him to shake the world and choose the unexpected. Hashtags trended nonstop, with people writing essays online about what his decision would mean for the culture. But the real drama exploded just moments before he took the stage. Witnesses claim that Travis's parents were sitting on opposite sides of the room, refusing to look at each other. His mother clutched a small necklace she'd given him as a child, whispering prayers under her breath. His father, meanwhile, leaned back with arms crossed, his jaw clenched so tightly that people in the room swore they could see the muscle twitch in his face. Then came the whispers. A family friend, who had been invited to the announcement, claimed that Travis's younger cousin broke down crying backstage, begging him not to break the family apart. Those words hit him harder than any tackle he had ever faced. "Don't make us fight forever," the cousin pleaded, tears rolling down their cheeks. Travis hugged the cousin, But his silence spoke louder than words. Meanwhile, the press outside was spiraling. Reporters speculated wildly, some even claiming to have inside scoops that contradicted each other. One outlet reported he was leaning toward loyalty, another swore he was about to betray everything he once stood for. The conflicting narratives only added to the suspense, and then came the betrayal that no one expected. A close friend of Travis, someone who had grown up with him since childhood, allegedly leaked details of his private conversations to the media. Texts were shared, audio clips mysteriously surfaced, painting a picture of Travis as indecisive, emotional, and torn between pleasing his family or following his own dreams. The betrayal cut deep, leaving Travis feeling exposed and humiliated. "How could you do this to me?" Travis reportedly confronted the friend backstage, his voice trembling with anger. The friend, defensive and unapologetic, shot back, "People deserve to know the truth. You've been playing both sides. And it's time everyone saw who you really are." Security had to step in to separate them, but the damage was already done. Fans who had once idolized Travis now questioned his authenticity. Accusations flew online. Was he manipulative? Was he leading people on for attention? Or was he just a young man drowning in impossible expectations? As if that wasn't enough, another twist shook the room. Sources revealed that Travis's grandmother, quiet but powerful influence in his life, had written him a letter the night before the announcement. In it, she begged him to make a decision that would allow him to sleep peacefully at night. "Rather than chasing approval from others, the world will always have something to say," she wrote. "But you have to live with yourself long after the cheering stops." The letter, which Travis reportedly carried folded in his pocket during the announcement, added another layer of emotional weight to the already unbearable tension. So when he finally walked to the podium, the room held its breath. His eyes were red, his hands shook slightly as he adjusted the microphone. And for a moment, it looked like he might break down right then and there. He scanned the crowd, his divided parents, his emotional cousin, his disappointed former friend, and he hesitated. This decision. "It hasn't been easy," he began, his voice low and heavy. "I know that whatever I say today, some of you will be hurt. Some of you will feel betrayed. And trust me, I've felt that same pain too. But this is my life, and I can't keep living for everyone else." Gasps echoed through the audience. And fans glued to their screens leaned in closer. This was no longer just a sports announcement. This was a confession, a declaration of independence, and possibly the beginning of a scandal that would haunt him for years to come. His mother's hands trembled as she held back tears. His father gave a cold nod as if to say, finally. The tension was unbearable. And then, just as he was about to reveal his decision, chaos erupted once more. A man in the crowd stood up and shouted, "Don't do it, Travis! Think about what you're throwing away." Security rushed to escort the man out. But the interruption shook Travis to his core. He looked down at the podium, took a deep breath, and prepared to speak the words that would either unite or destroy everything he had built. The room had gone dead silent after the outburst, and Travis gripped the edges of the podium as if it were the only thing keeping him standing. Sweat glistened on his forehead. His chest rose and fell in heavy breaths, and when he finally spoke, his voice cracked with emotion. "I thought about this day every single night," he began slowly, his words dragging like heavy chains. "I've listened to my parents argue. I've read the comments. I've heard the voices telling me what I should do. But at some point, I realized, if I don't make this choice for myself, then it's not really my life." Murmurs rippled through the audience. Cameras zoomed in. His mother whispered a shaky please under her breath, as if begging him one last time to stay loyal. His father sat motionless, eyes locked on his son like a man watching destiny unfold. And then came the moment that split the world in two. "My decision," Kravi said, pausing as the room collectively held its breath, "is to walk away from what everyone expected of me and choose the path nobody saw coming. Gasps filled the air. His mother covered her mouth in disbelief, nearly collapsing back into her chair. His father leaned forward with the faintest smirk, as though this was the outcome he had been secretly rooting for all along. But the shock wasn't just in the choice. No, the real bombshell was the revelation that followed. "I know people are going to call me a traitor," Travis admitted, his voice steadying. "I know some of you will never forgive me. But I'm choosing this because it's what feels right for me. Not because it's easy, not because it's popular. And to those who stood by me, I hope one day you'll understand." Immediately, the audience erupted. Some fans in the room cheered and clapped, celebrating his boldness, while others booed loudly, their voices echoing with betrayal. One woman screamed, "You're turning your back on us?" While another yelled, "Finally, someone who knows his worth." Social media exploded in real time. Hashtags shifted from excitement to pure chaos. Tweets poured in faster than anyone could read them. "Travis just ruined his legacy," wrote one fan, while another replied, "No, he just became a legend." Within minutes, his name was trending across the country, dividing people like never before. But the drama wasn't confined to the crowd or the internet. Backstage, his cousin collapsed in tears, sobbing uncontrollably. "Why would you do this to us, Travis? Why would you tear the family apart?" The child's cries echoed through the hall, breaking the hearts of those who overheard. And then his mother, unable to hold back any longer, stormed out of her seat and confronted him right there on stage. Her voice trembled, but her anger was undeniable. "This isn't the boy I raised," she shouted. "This isn't loyalty. This isn't family. You've been blinded by promises and lies." The audience gasped again. Reporters scrambled to capture every word, every tear, every raw moment of pain. Travis tried to reach out to her, whispering, "Mom, please listen to me." But she pulled her hand back, shaking her head in devastation. "No, Travis, you've made your choice, and now we all have to live with it." His father stood and moved toward her, placing a hand on her shoulder, but instead of comfort, sparked another explosion. "Don't you dare touch me," she hissed. "This is what you wanted, isn't it? You pushed him into this. You made him believe this was the only way." His father didn't deny it. Instead, he said coldly, "I wanted him to think for himself." And he finally did. "Maybe you just can't handle the fact that he didn't choose your way." The tension escalated so fiercely that security once again stepped in, trying to separate the feuding parents before the scene turned into an all-out family brawl. The cameras caught every second, and the footage would later go viral with captions like, "Travis Hunter's decision destroyed his family, live on stage." Meanwhile, in the midst of all the chaos, Travis stood frozen, his heart pounding. He had expected anger, disappointment, maybe even betrayal. But to watch his parents' marriage unravel in front of him, it was almost too much to bear. "Stop," Travis finally shouted, his voice echoing through the room. "This was supposed to be about my future, not about tearing us apart. I made this choice because I couldn't keep living under everyone else's shadow. Why can't you see that?" His words silenced the room for a brief moment. But the damage had already been done. Outside the venue, fans gathered in protest, some holding signs supporting his decision, others chanting that he had ruined everything. Cars honked, voices shouted, and police had to set up barricades to control the growing crowd. The scene looked less like a sports announcement and more like a national scandal, adding to the drama. Leaks began spreading almost instantly. Insiders claimed that Travis had signed secret documents weeks before the announcement, proving that his decision had been finalized long ago. The betrayal stung for those who had believed he was still torn until the last moment. "He played us all." One fan ranted on a live stream. "He had already decided, but he let us fight each other. He let us believe he was struggling. That's not strength. That's manipulation." But others defended him, arguing that he had every right to keep his decision private until he was ready. "He's human," another fan said tearfully. "He's been under so much pressure, and he still stood up and made a choice for himself." That takes courage. As the night went on, the ripple effect spread beyond the announcement. Old friends unfollowed him on social media, posting cryptic messages about fake loyalty and chasing clout. One particularly bitter former teammate posted a photo of them together with the caption, "Funny how money changes people." The post quickly went viral, fueling even more speculation and division. But the most shocking betrayal came when Travis discovered that the childhood friend who had leaked his private conversations earlier wasn't finished yet. Hours after the announcement, that same friend posted screenshots of group chats showing Travis's doubts, fears, and second guesses. He's not the hero you think he is. The friend wrote alongside the leaks, "He only pretends to be strong. The truth is, he's scared, confused, and willing to say whatever people want to hear. Don't put him on a pedestal." The leak sent shockwaves through the fan base. Suddenly, people weren't just debating his decision, they were questioning his entire character. Was he truly bold, or was he just reckless? Was he independent, or was he selfish? Back at home, his grandmother sat quietly in her chair, watching the chaos unfold on television. She held the letter she had written him, her eyes filled with sadness, but also a quiet strength. "He'll learn," she murmured softly. "He'll learn who stands by him when the cheering fades." And as Travis scrolled through the storm of reactions on his phone that night, his hands shaking, his heart heavy, he realized something terrifying. This decision was only the beginning. The true fallout, the betrayals, the divisions, the scars on his family had only just begun to surface. He shut his phone off, sat in the dark, and whispered to himself, "What have I done?" The silence of that night haunted Travis more than the shouts of the crowd. He sat in his room with the lights off, staring at the shadows on the wall. His phone buzzed endlessly on the nightstand, calls from journalists, friends, coaches, and even distant relatives he hadn't spoken to in years. But he ignored them all. The only message he opened was from his grandmother. It was short, just 3 words: "Hold your ground." Those words gave him a brief flicker of strength, but the storm outside his door only grew worse. By morning, the media had already spun his announcement into a circus. Talk shows debated his choice. Former players criticized him for betraying the game, and commentators dissected every word of his speech like it was evidence in a trial. One clip went viral. A split-screen debate between 2 analysts. One shouted, "He's selfish, plain and simple. He turned his back on loyalty, on tradition, on everything that matters." The other fired back, "No, he's brave. He broke free from the chains of expectation. He's writing his own story, and that terrifies people who want to control him." People who want to control him. The back and forth mirrored the very divide within his own family. His mother refused to speak to him after storming off stage, reportedly staying at her sister's house for the night. His father, on the other hand, called him with a tone of pride. "You did what you had to do," his father said firmly. "You can't live your life for other people, Travis. This was your moment. Don't let anyone make you regret it." But the words didn't bring comfort. They only deepened the guilt twisting in Travis's chest. "Dad, you didn't see Mom's face. She looked at me like I was a stranger." His father's response was cold. "She'll get over it. Give her time. But don't you dare backtrack now. You made the right call." Travis hung up, feeling torn in two. Meanwhile, his cousin, the one who had begged him not to break the family apart, posted a heartbreaking video online. Through tears, the young cousin said, "I don't even recognize him anymore. He used to care about us, about family. Now he only cares about himself." The video spread quickly, and fans flooded the comments, some sympathizing with the cousin, others attacking them for being too emotional. The divide was no longer just between fans. It was now spilling into every corner of his personal life. Then came the first betrayal from within the inner circle. A former mentor, someone Travis had always trusted, appeared on a podcast and revealed conversations they had shared. "He told me months ago he was considering this path," the mentor said. "But he also told me he was scared of disappointing his mom. I think he chose to disappoint her anyway because he thought the money was worth more than her pride." The quote spread like wildfire. painted on headlines across every platform. Travis Hunter chose money over mom, and as if that wasn't painful enough, his so-called best friend, the one who had already leaked private messages, wasn't finished with his campaign of destruction. This time, he released a voice memo of Travis venting late at night. In the audio, Travis could be heard saying, "Sometimes I wish I could just disappear so I don't have to choose at all," taken out of context. The clip made him sound weak, indecisive, and unstable. Fans who once praised him for being bold now mocked him, calling him a coward. "He's no leader," one comment read. "He's just a confused kid pretending to be strong." The backlash stung. But there was still one place Travis hoped to find peace: his grandmother's house. He drove there quietly, wearing a hoodie pulled low to avoid being recognized. When she opened the door, she didn't say a word. She just pulled him into a hug, the kind of hug that felt like forgiveness even before words were spoken. "Sit down, child," she said softly. "You've been carrying too much on your shoulders." They sat at her kitchen table, the smell of her cooking filling the air, and for the first time since the announcement, Travis allowed himself to cry. "I ruined everything, Grandma. Mom hates me, the fans hate me, even my cousin can't look at me. What was the point of all this?" His grandmother listened quietly before speaking. "The point is that it's your life. You can't please everyone, Travis. No matter what choice you made, somebody would feel betrayed. That's the price of being in the spotlight." Her words gave him temporary peace. But the outside world wasn't going to let him heal quietly. By the time he left her house, paparazzi were already waiting outside, cameras flashing in his face. One shouted, "How does it feel to destroy your family?" Another asked, "Do you regret betraying your fans?" Travis pushed through them without answering, but inside, the questions lingered like poison. Later that night, things took another shocking twist. A mysterious social media account posted screenshots claiming to show that Travis had been negotiating with multiple sides at once, playing them against each other for leverage. Though unverified, the screenshots looked convincing enough to ignite another firestorm. People accused him of manipulating everyone for attention and profit. He's not just indecisive, he's calculated. One viral post claimed, "He strung us along just to boost his name." This was all a game to him. Even some of his closest allies began distancing themselves. A well-known coach unfollowed him online. Sponsors that had once expressed interest started to pull back, issuing vague statements about reassessing future partnerships. The fallout wasn't just emotional anymore, it was financial. His father, furious about the leaks, called him again. "You can't let them tear you down like this, Travis. This is exactly what happens when people are jealous of your success. You've got to fight back. Sue them if you have to." But Travis felt exhausted. Fight back against who, Dad? The fans? The media? My own friends? I don't even know who's on my side anymore. The tension boiled over when his mother finally broke her silence in an interview. She appeared visibly heartbroken, her voice trembling as she said, "He used to be my baby, my pride. But I don't recognize the man he's become. I begged him to remember where he came from, to remember loyalty. But he chose fame over family." Her words cut deeper than any headline. Clips of the interview went viral, with fans declaring, "If even his own mom feels betrayed, then maybe we were right all along." Travis saw the interview and sat motionless for hours, replaying her words in his head. He wanted to call her, to explain, to beg for forgiveness. But every time he picked up the phone, he froze, afraid she wouldn't answer. Afraid she'd hang up. As the days dragged on, the chaos reached new heights. Protesters showed up outside his training facility, holding signs that read, "Loyalty matters" and "Travis betrayed us." Inside, teammates gave him cold stares, some refusing to even acknowledge him. The locker room, once a place of brotherhood, now felt like a battlefield. And just when he thought it couldn't get any worse, another twist hit like a thunderclap. Someone leaked a private family group chat to the media. Messages showed his parents arguing bitterly, with his mom writing, "You've poisoned him," and his dad firing back, "You'd rather him be broke than successful." The public devoured the screenshots, debating every message as though it were a soap opera script. Fans who once cheered for Travis were now obsessed with his family drama, turning his pain into entertainment. And through it all, Travis kept asking himself the same question in the quiet of the night. Had he chosen freedom? Or had he chosen to destroy everything he loved? The nights were getting longer, darker, and lonelier for Travis. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw flashes of his mother's interview, his cousin's tears, and the headlines screaming betrayal. It felt like the world had turned him into a villain overnight. But deep down, a part of him refused to give in completely. He wanted to fight back to reclaim control of his story. So when a journalist reached out offering him a chance to tell his side in a sit-down interview, Travis agreed. He knew it was risky, but silence had only made things worse. The interview aired live, with millions tuning in. Travis sat across from the host, his face serious, his voice heavy with emotion. "I didn't make this decision to hurt anyone," he said, looking directly into the camera. "I made it because I wanted to grow. I know people are angry. I know people feel betrayed. But this wasn't about turning my back on anyone. It was about finding my own path." But just as viewers began to sympathize, the host blindsided him with a question that would change everything. "What about the reports that you were negotiating with multiple sides at the same time? What about the screenshots showing you played both ends against the middle? Were you manipulating everyone for leverage?" Everyone for leverage? The studio fell silent. Travis's face tightened. He denied the accusations, insisting the screenshots were fabricated, but doubt had already been planted. Fans watching at home split once again. Some believed him, others rolled their eyes and called him a liar. As soon as the cameras stopped rolling, Travis's phone buzzed with a new message. It was from his former best friend, the one who had been leaking everything. The message read, "You still don't get it. I'm not done with you. People deserve to know the whole truth." Travis's hands shook with rage. "Why are you doing this to me?" He texted back. "We were brothers." The reply was brutal. "You stopped being my brother the second you chose yourself over everyone else. Now you get to live with the consequences." Travis threw his phone across the room, shattering it against the wall. He felt like he was fighting a ghost he couldn't catch, an enemy who knew all his weaknesses. The betrayals piled on. But then came a twist no one expected. His cousin, the same one who had cried on camera, posted a new video. This time the tone was different, with tear-streaked cheeks, but steadier words. The cousin said, "I was angry, I was hurt, but I realized something. It's not fair for me to put the weight of our whole family on Travis's shoulders. He's human. He has a right to make choices for himself. I still love him, even if I don't fully understand him." The video melted hearts. And for the first time since the announcement, a wave of fans began to rally behind Travis again. Hashtags shifted to #StandWithTravis. But the support came with a warning. Many still believed he had to prove himself, to show that his decision was more than just words. His grandmother, watching all of this unfold, called him that night. "Child," she said gently, "sometimes the storm has to come before the calm. But storms don't last forever. You've got to stand tall now or you'll drown in it." Her wisdom lit a fire inside him. Instead of hiding, Travis showed up to practice the next morning, walking past protesters, reporters, and even cold teammates. The whispers followed him everywhere. Traitor, sellout, fake. But he kept his head high. And then another shock hit like lightning. His mother appeared at the facility unannounced. She didn't say a word at first, just stood there, arms crossed, staring at her son. The room froze. Teammates pretended not to watch, but every eye was on them. Finally, she spoke. "I still don't agree with your choice," she said quietly but firmly. "But I can't keep pretending you're not my son. I may not support what you did, but I will always love you." Travis's eyes filled with tears. He hugged her tightly, and though she didn't hug him back right away, eventually her arms wrapped around him. The sight of them together spread like wildfire online, sparking headlines like, "Travis Hunter reunites with mother in emotional moment." But just when it seemed like things might be healing, Another betrayal shattered the fragile peace. A leaked recording surfaced online of Travis's father speaking with a sports agent. In the clip, his father bragged about pushing Travis toward the controversial decision, saying, "I knew he'd listen to me. I told him this was the only way to secure the bag." His mom never stood a chance. The recording exploded across the internet, painting his father as manipulative and greedy. Suddenly, the blame shifted away from Travis and toward his father. Fans debated endlessly, was Travis truly acting independently, or was he just a pawn in his father's game? The revelation devastated him, Dad. "Tell me that wasn't real," he demanded over the phone. But his father didn't deny it. "Son, I did what I had to do. This is about survival. One day, you'll thank me." Travis felt sick. "You didn't care about me. You cared about winning. You cared about money." For the first time, he hung up on his father, slamming the phone down and breaking into sobs. The betrayal cut deeper than any fan's criticism in that moment. Travis realized that his grandmother had been right all along. The storm wasn't about the world outside. It was about the people closest to him. His decision had exposed cracks in his family that had been there for years. Hidden under the surface, and yet out of the chaos came something unexpected. His teammates, who had been cold and distant, saw his vulnerability and began to soften. One of them walked up to him after practice, placed a hand on his shoulder, and said, "You've been through hell, man. But if you're still standing, maybe you're stronger than we thought." Slowly, the locker room tension began to ease. The team wasn't fully united, but the icy walls were starting to crack. Online, fans remained divided, but some began to admire him not just for his talent, but for his resilience. "He's still here, still showing up, even with the world against him," one fan wrote. "That takes guts." Still, questions lingered. Had he made the right choice? Had he burned too many bridges to ever rebuild? Or was this just the first chapter of a much bigger story? As Travis lay in bed one night staring at the ceiling, he whispered to himself, "This isn't the end. Not yet." And in that whisper, a spark of determination flickered. The drama wasn't over. The family wounds weren't healed. The fan base wasn't united. But Travis knew one thing for certain. His decision had changed everything, and nothing would ever be the same again. And so, the story of Travis Hunter's decision leaves us with more questions than answers. Was it an act of bravery or the ultimate betrayal? Did he finally step out of everyone else's shadow? Or did he let the weight of family pressure and personal ambition tear everything apart? Fans are still arguing. Families are still divided. And the ripple effects are spreading far beyond the world of sports. His mother may have forgiven him enough to stand by his side again. But the wound between her and his father remains raw, festering in public for everyone to see. His cousin's tears still echo in the background, reminding us all that every bold move comes with a cost. His former best friend continues to lurk in the shadows, leaking pieces of his private life and keeping the fire of scandal burning. And Travis himself, he may have chosen his path, but can he really walk it without looking back over his shoulder? This isn't just about a game anymore. It's about identity, loyalty, betrayal, and survival. One decision has rewritten his story forever, and yet, somehow, it feels like this is only the beginning now. We want to hear from you. Do you think Travis made the right call, or was it the biggest mistake of his life? Do you believe his father manipulated him, or was Travis always in control? Can his family ever heal, or has this decision left scars too deep to close? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, because this conversation is far from over. And if you want to stay updated on every twist, every betrayal, and every shocking reveal in this unfolding drama, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Trust me, you don't want to miss what happens next.